What we have here in the back of the canned ham is the Autel Evo 2. All right, this is a dual drone. We got 8K daytime capabilities, and we have a 640 Boson core on the inside for thermal capabilities at nighttime. It's very impressive. Ultimate Night Vision had the Matrice, the DJI Matrice, which was 3 times the size of this unit. A lot heavier. It had a FLIR core on it that we had to attach and get hooked up. And it was a pain in the butt to use all the time. Before we even start talking about this thing and showing you guys some footage, pay attention to your state laws and regulations with these drones. Even in the state of Texas, with the millions of hogs that we have, you have to have a special permit to use drones to look for pigs. Okay, so be very careful with that. I really didn't get an opportunity to use it that much, but I was also able to capture some pretty cool footage of some pigs that were hunkered down in some areas that we cannot get to. We got a lot of this ranch that's flooded out, and it is not easy getting into. There's Johnson grass that's 6 foot tall, and I don't even know what the other plants are, but they're at least 8 to 10 foot. And the hogs are bedded up in there, and they're not coming out. So what's the point of having a drone like that? Well, if you're doing everything legally, it's great for spotting pigs, okay? It's great for going out and scouting and seeing that type of stuff, but this thing goes beyond hunting, okay? Search and rescue, law enforcement, etc., okay? If you think about search and rescue, these individuals are dropping, counties are dropping thousands of dollars just for a few hours of flight time. That's paying for personnel, that's paying for fuel, and also having that helicopter. So there's tons of maintenance to keep up with those things. We're talking big money invested in these helicopters for search and rescue. Just look at the bill. If you know anybody that's been medevac, care flighted, you will know the bill is not cheap. It's very, very expensive. And sometimes I feel like it's a little too expensive. This thing goes for about $10,000. You might see it just under that. And for search and rescue, law enforcement, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's a no-brainer. We got 3 batteries here. We're averaging, it depends on the wind. If you have really heavy winds, this is a small unit. I mean, look at my hands here. This is a small unit. And if it's really windy, it's going to run, but unfortunately, it's going to wear your battery down really quick because it's fighting. It has a lot of resistance with the wind. With a calm day like this, we're looking at about 35 minutes of flight time. We have it set up to where it comes home at 30%. Might need to drop that a little bit less. But one thing I will give you guys a quick tip, and if you're not familiar with drones, please be careful about where you're taking off. So if you take off and you have this thing follow you, or you're just going a little too far and it's time for it to come back, you need to have a clear area for it to land on its own. It does it all by GPS. I actually played around one day trying to dodge wind, and I took off inside the shop, and guess what? It was time for it to go back, and I wasn't in the area, and it was trying to land, and with all the sensors on here, it refused to go back home. So it went back up and ended up going to another location, almost went into the trees. I ended up catching it before it got there, but just be careful about where you're taking off, because if it needs to go home, it needs to have a clear area, okay? Like I said, 3 batteries. You can get an app. You get the Autel app, and you load it up on your phone. Guys, I spotted all kinds of pigs with this thing, and I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely amazing. The clarity is amazing. My favorite part of this drone, though, is even during the daytime where it's sun setting down, but even during the daytime, I can use the 8K camera and have the thermal in the middle. It's like an overlay. I'm going to show you guys here in this video on some cattle that we have right over here. I will be able to fly in, and during the daytime, I will be able to pick up any type of heat signature with the Autel. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I don't want to talk too much more about it. There's all types of information online. If you just put in a Google search for the Autel Evo 2, you will see all the specs on this thing. I'm not even covering half of what this thing could do. It's pretty sweet. But I just wanted to show you guys some of the footage. I know you guys love to see what what these animals are doing from the sky. You know, it's pretty cool. When they spook, they get in a single file line, and they almost look like snakes. They almost look like a bunch of ants. If you pay attention to ants on the ground going back and forth, that's exactly how they're moving. They're together. These things are kind of loud, and I know some folks are going to say, "Whoa, that's really loud. I don't see the point of even hunting with something like that." You would be amazed. These pigs either spook or they don't. It's the same thing on the ground if we're stalking pigs with rifles on the ground. Sometimes they spook, sometimes they don't. It just depends on the pigs. I've gotten down to about 10 feet with this drone on top of pigs in the brush, and you're going to see the footage. They did not budge. They didn't even bother looking up. They were in the brush. You can see how thick it was. You can see the brush going over them. You can see piglets coming out of nowhere, and it was great footage. And then you're also going to see some footage where I go in and buzz them, and they take off. They take off. So some do, some don't. Some do, some don't. But all the pigs that you see in this video were not hunted. Unfortunately, they were just in areas that I couldn't get to, and my jaws dropped when I figured out how many pigs were in areas that we couldn't get to. It's absolutely amazing. I can't wait till wintertime when all this vegetation dies down. I'm gonna go ahead and fire this up for you guys. I don't have to have the phone. I'll just do it manually here with the remote and let you guys hear how it sounds. The gimbal on this thing's absolutely amazing. If you're familiar with the DJIs, this thing is no different. It's no different than a DJI. And you can just rock this thing back and forth and you'll see the gimbal just stay steady. But, you know, all drones are pretty loud. I mean, it's almost impossible to make these things quiet. But again, some of the pigs spook, some of them don't. Let's turn this remote on. And it's going to say it's not connected to the app and all that. But this is your last resort right here if you ended up losing connection with your phone. And we're having magnetic interference. It's picking up this Can-Am. And at nighttime, there's a light. I'm shocked it didn't come on right now. Right around 10 foot, 8, 10 foot, the light comes on and it will cut off once it gets up to a certain height. I don't know if you guys can see that gimbal. Let's see if I can bring it down just a hair. It's fighting. It doesn't want to hit the Can-Am. So I'm going to get up to about 10 foot. Oh, it's not doing it because I'm not hooked up to the app. We're about 12 foot right now. And that's exactly what those pigs heard when I was hovering on top of them. I'm going to take off. I'm going straight up. We're probably about 150, 200 now. Probably about 350 now, 300. Not bad. Now I'm moving west. Pretty cool stuff. Love this thing. All right, let me share some footage with you guys. If you guys like what you see, please hit the like button, get those subs going, get those notifications going, and I'll see you guys in the next video.